Mi gente, buenos días. Feliz martes. Welcome to Island Girl. Let me do it again because I didn't like that. Whatever. Mi gente, buenos días. Feliz martes. Hoy es diciembre 16. Welcome to Island Girl Podcast. Yo lo tenía votado a ustedes porque estaba busy. No, pero I hadn't recorded in a few weeks. Last episode was Thanksgiving, day before Thanksgiving. So a good like 2 weeks. But since then, my birthday happened, right? I turned 39 years young, 1 year from 40, which is pretty big. I had my parents over for Thanksgiving. It was pretty great. I enjoyed being with them, having quality time with them. And I told you guys the last episode that I was gonna tell you about the Bad Bunny concert, and I didn't because I went into the whole Thanksgiving the things I was thankful for, and I completely ran through the Bad Bunny concert. But the concert was amazing. We had such a great time. It was such a great experience. It was so beautiful that we got to experience that both with my mom and with Scar. And Scar had never gone to a concert. And so this was her first concert. And then Bad Bunny blew us away. It was amazing. I hadn't seen him live. I hadn't seen him in concert. And so seeing him here in DR and then while living here with my kid's kid, Nathan didn't go because he had a sweet 15, and that's okay. And so my mom wasn't scheduled to go. From the beginning, she said she wasn't interested because it would be too much walking and ella está muy vieja para eso. And so because Nathan's ticket was available, I was like, you need to go. And then she was like, vamos a ver, vamos a ver. And then the day of, she was like, ay, in the morning, she's like, ay, yo creo que tú debes de vender esa taquilla porque yo no debo de ir para allá, tú sabes, yo no puedo estar parada por tanta hora y caminando tanto y haciendo línea. So, véndelo. And I was like, I held off and I figured if she really didn't go, if she really decided not to go, I knew I would convince her because I knew she wanted to go. And she was just letting my dad like feed her that she would be tired and she's old. And also herself, she was like, I should just stay home, that type of shit. Or like she could get money back for the ticket. Like come on. I'd rather my mom go to the concert with me. That was more epic. But anyways, I let her she told me put the ticket on sale and I waited here from in the morning. When I was here in Punta Cana, we were about to head over there to the capital. And I was like, let me get over there first and see her face and gauge like if I can convince her. And then if I couldn't convince her, I was just gonna give it away to somebody. There's a few young people that I know that would go in the capital. So I was waiting to see if she was for sure not gonna go, then I would just have one of them come with us and enjoy it with us. And then I get to the capital and she does look tired. She had been running all these errands she's trying to get her pension out here in DR. She worked for like 16 years and she's been here. And now with her heart condition, she's trying to get her pension and retire. And so she was doing all these diligencias all week, and that's why she was exhausted that day. She was kind of exhausted that day, a bit tired. And then, but then I was like, so mom, I'm gonna hit up blah 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 and see if they want to come because I saw that she was exhausted. And then she was like, no, no, but let's see. Let's give me a few minutes and I'll let you know. And right there, I was like, she's coming. She's gonna come. And I was like, we'll take you a chair. If there's like a long line, we'll just take you a chair and you can sit, and then so you don't do mucho trote. And once we get inside, you'll sit on the seats and you don't have to be standing. And the whole concert, she went, right? The whole concert, she was dancing and standing up. I'd be like, Mommy, siéntate un ching, because the whole time I knew she was a bit tired and I kind of convinced her to come, but she had a blast. She was so happy. She's like, yo no puedo creer que yo me iba a Peleta. Like, and before that, when I got over there to her house, I was like, Mom, you know all the things that you've done, like when her brother had a stroke and he was hospitalized, she would troop to Brooklyn or Queens. I forgot what which one of those two, either Brooklyn or Queens, in the on the train in the winter last year. And I'm like, you've done all these things and you do all these things for all these people, and you're gonna keep yourself from going to this Bad Bunny concert. Like this is epic. And you're going with me and we're here in DR and Scarlett's going. And like so she ended up going and she had a great time. And it was so beautiful because after this difficult ass year that she's had, being able to enjoy that together, that was pretty epic. And it's also funny because when I was having her work out in January in my house, she had her her heart was weaker and she needed to work out. And I stayed with her in January. All of January, I stayed in my house and I was training her. And we would play all the Bad Bunny songs and mostly Monaco. So when he sang Monaco, she went crazy. And Debí Tiramos Foto, Nueva York, all those songs, because he dropped that album in January. And so when we were when we were hearing those songs, I was thinking about that, that she's so much better. And I was so grateful. But yeah, that's the Bad Bunny concert. It was so great. I had so much fun. I was sober. I didn't drink one drop of alcohol, and it was just the best. And I saw so many people from out here, from the Heights, people that I went to high school with that were younger than me. A lot of people really trooped out there. A few of my friends came from the Heights too. I didn't get to see them, but yeah, no, they were there. So I was like seeing everybody's things, everybody was having a blast. And then all these people trooped to the yard to see him, and like I'm literally here, a few hours away. Of course we had to go. That was like our graduation. But anyways, um, done with the Bad Bunny concert. It was amazing. He deserves all the flowers. He's I'm so grateful that we were in the generation of Bad Bunny, that we got to see his rise to stardom. And he's that everything he does is divine. Like that, the ways he creates his songs, the ways he sings the whole concert was himself. He brought out Romeo for a bit, but he doesn't need anybody. Like that shit is divine greatness. What he has is divine. That shit comes from God. And so when you're putting out this divine gift and these things into the world, of course it's gonna hit, and then on top of that, when you're such a great person, you're gonna be blessed, you're gonna be in abundance. And yeah. So my birthday. So I turned 39 on December 10th, Wednesday. What day is it today? Today's the 16th, 6 days ago. I turned 39. And starting December 1st, they sent me flowers at the house, right? At the apartment. And I was like, they're so beautiful, some red roses. And then the second day, December 2nd, I got another bouquet of flowers. And then on the second, I was like, babe, are you doing that again? So when I was pregnant with Nathan, when I was 23, he did that. So December 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, up until the 10th, which is my birthday, he had flowers delivered for me every single day. Back then it was roses, a bouquet of roses, and now it was different. The first ones were roses, but throughout the 10 days, they were all different. Two times it was sunflowers, which are my favorite flowers. And it was so beautiful, and it was beautiful. And like every day, this guy would come home from school, she'd be like, "Oh my God, what color are they?" And it was so nice to see, so for the kids to see that, for the kids to see in the future, she'll expect that too. She'll expect to be, treated beautifully and like the queen that she is, and to have these little acts of love, she'll because her dad did it, because her dad treated her mom beautifully like that. And I'm not one for gifts. and all that stuff. I'm not, my love languages, I said it earlier on my Instagram stories, my love languages are definitely acts of service, quality time, and words of affirmation. If you see the way that I love, right? My Instagram is all acts of words of affirmation and acts of service. This is an act of service right here. This is how I love y'all. This is how I love people, my people. Right? I try to share my light. I try to share my love. I try to share my wisdom and my life experiences so that you can learn from them. Not so that I can brag and I can be like, hey, I live in DR now, look at me. No, this is the intention behind this podcast is to inspire, right? To inspire and also to show you and to give you guys my gems and my wisdom and the things that I learned the hard way, the things that I've learned through heartbreaks and through doing things wrong or cycles that I've been repeating for decades that I'm finally learning to break because I know that I'm not the only one, that there's other women that are self-sacrificing, people pleasing, you know, have centered their lives around their men, you know? And so I want, if I could just provide my wisdom and my gems so that other people can break their cycles faster so that my niece and the younger girls following us can do things differently so that yeah yeah, so this is my act of service. And then quality time presence, spending time with people. I don't prioritize gifts and I don't prioritize things, and I've been called a hippie because I don't care for clothes, I don't care for shoes, I don't care for bags. I'm not the normal woman. Like I'm not the normal. I'm not like all the other types of women that are like so much about name brands and Gucci and Prada, and I don't even know what they're using now. Or like shoes. None of that. I don't need any of that. And I don't need expensive clothing either. Like literally I always say it's la pelcha, Like it doesn't matter what you wear. And it doesn't matter what I wear because I could wear the shit out of a fucking $5 shirt. I don't need to wear expensive name brands. I feel like that's it's such a waste, and it's so crap. So yeah, anyways, I don't know how we went from gifts to expensive clothing to la pelcha. But yeah, back to back to gifts, right? So we are coming up on holiday season and it's the 16th. So I know people running around buying gifts and stressing out over how they show their love to their loved ones, right? How they show their loved ones that they love them with this one tangible gift that they get them. Whereas like love is something that you express in every way, it's those phone calls or the text. I'm thinking about you, or hey, have you heard this song? It's the words of affirmation, like I'm so proud of you. I can't believe you did that. Or look, you've been planning this for all this, or you've been manifesting this and you finally did it. Like just quality time, spending time with your people, taking the time out to go to a movie or to go to dinner or to hang out together at somebody's house, quality time. Even physical touch. My shit is hair play, My everybody knows, like at least my kids, my spouse, my niece. If I sit in front of you, if I'm sitting like if you're sitting on a couch and I sit on the floor, I'm asking for my hair to be played with. And I'm like a dog, right? That's my thing. And Bay's the same, and with Bay too, whenever I am stressed or I'm exhausted, my nervous system needs to be calmed. I just put my head on his lap and he knows. He plays with my hair, and even just sitting there, he'll be like, huh, let me play with your hair for a bit. And that's love right there. I don't need expensive gifts and expensive shit. Like I really don't. That's not it for me. But I know that a lot of people do receive love in that way. So I still try to, I gift books, right? That Pivot Your book. Last year I bought, I don't know if it was last year or the year before. I think it was last year or for 2024. I bought like 15 copies of that and I gave it to all my favorite people. And then last year I had a few people like that were going through difficult things. And I bought it again for a few more people. And things like that, like the Young Pueblo books, I bought them all for my favorite people. Um, I'm more of a book giver. And I also, I try to buy things that I know the people would enjoy, perfumes, things like that. Um, but but yeah, gifts and all that, like trying to it's too much pressure to try to show people that you love them with a fucking gift, and I get it, the principle of it is that, hey, I know you and I know that you would like this, and so I bought you this. I get that, you know. And yeah, but for the holidays, I just feel like so many women are tasked with the responsibility of buying gifts for usually the whole family, right? Not just the children, but the adults and everybody, right? And it's so stressful, and sometimes you're so worked up about what you're gonna get people that you you don't enjoy the holidays. You don't suck up the time. Some people that are off from work, they're just running around shopping and shit like that. And yes, Amazon, you can order it. But even that, like, you're going into debt to show people that you love them. Like that one day of the year or their birthday. But yeah, that one day of the year, like chances are your people know you love them. So you don't need to go crazy over that gift, you know? But yeah, um, I'm really, really excited to be going back home. We leave on the 18th in 2 days on Thursday. Today's Tuesday. Yeah, so we leave in 2 days and I'm so, so excited. I'm excited to, first of all, to see my family. I'm excited to see my siblings. I'm excited to see Max. I'm excited to see Emma, Alina, Manny, Tito, all of my people, right? The girls, cousins, all the family. I'm excited to see everybody. I haven't seen them since August when we last left, so it's been 4 months. And I'm excited to see how everyone's doing and, you know, where they're at mentally, physically, in every way. I'm excited to see Julie badly. I've been dying to see her and see how she's doing. Um, so yeah, I'm really excited to go back. I'm excited to be in our house in the cold. The cold does wonders for my hair, so I'm excited for that. For nice, sleek hair that's not like puffy. My hair gets puffy when I wash it at first, when it first dries, because I always air dry it, and then the next day it looks nice. So if I'm going somewhere, I have to be like twirling it a bit so I can unpuff a bit. But when I go back home and it's cold over there, my hair be so sweet. I can't wait. And I'm excited to be in our house, to sleep on my bed over there. It's so comfy. I'm excited to hang out, and I'm off from Christmas Eve until like the 2nd of January. I took all those days off. I'm so freaking happy. I literally took them off right before my old supervisor left. We don't have a supervisor right now. So I put that time in ASAP. She approved it. And I'm so happy. Usually in my job, you either get Christmas, like the Christmas time, or you get New Year's. And I tend to prefer to take the Christmas days off so I could be with the kids and enjoy that time. That New Year's, even though I usually throw the New Year's party, but it doesn't really matter because New Year's the party's at 8. So I still get the house ready, get the food ready, and get all the shit ready while I work. But this year I took New Year's Eve off too. So I'm excited about that. And I'm excited to hang out at my house. My mom's coming too. She was planning to just stay here because she's been back and forth throughout the year, going to medical appointments and all that stuff. But I'm like, what do you want to do? And she's gonna stay here for Christmas. She's gonna be with my dad. But I was like, what do you want to do? And she was like, I'll be fine here. And I'm like, no, no, but what do you want to do? Do you want to go back? Because everybody's gonna, you're gonna have a blast over there and you're gonna enjoy that so much more. And so, yeah, she's coming from the 27th for a few days, like 9 days. Pretty much New Year's Eve, she'll be there, which is the most important thing because that's the day of the party at my house. That's when we go ham. And like the whole family gets together and it's like this huge reunion and all the cousins who haven't seen each other, they come through and all the family you haven't seen comes through and it's such a beautiful celebration and I'm really excited for it. I am I'm excited for this year to end, man. 2025 was a fucking bitch. It was a bitch. It was tough. But again, a 9 year, like I've been saying, it was a year for us to see all our cycles, all the things that we've been relooping in, all the patterns and habits and negative coping mechanisms that we've been using, so that we can finally extract them and complete them and move differently, right? The rebirth for 2026. And so 2025 was again a bitch. My mom with her health getting stronger. She's much stronger now. And she joined the gym. I'm so happy. She finally joined the gym out here in DR. She had joined before she got sick, like before her heart, the whole emergency she had been going to the gym and then she had stopped because she was too tired because that's what happens. When you have a heart condition, you don't have the energy or the strength. And so she had stopped for a while. But now, and then she the whole heart emergency and stuff in New Jersey, and then I had her working out at my house in January. The whole month of January, she lost weight. She was good. She was doing good. And then now going back and forth, she hasn't been able to go to to sign back up in the gym. But then Thanksgiving weekend, the whole weekend, I was just like giving her all these pep talks and pretty much telling her like, this is your choice, whatever you can step into whatever timeline you prefer. And you can step into the timeline where you only live a few years or you don't work out and you just rely on medication, or you can step into the timeline where you help yourself. You work out, you stop stressing over bullshit that's not yours, you take care of yourself, prioritize yourself, your health, things that fill your cup and all that stuff. And so that timeline will give you more time. So she listened. Today I literally called her because that's another thing, that whole savior complex. I've been on this like trying to force her in a way, like, hey, did you go? And then before she joined the gym, and then the weekend when she came for Thanksgiving, I was like, I'm not gonna tell you this anymore. You already know what you need to do. I'm not gonna, you know, I don't want to be that person. Like, I don't want to be that person that when I call you, you're like, oh no, there's the dummies calling me about the gym and if I worked out and if I'm eating healthy. Like, I don't want to be that, like I'm done with saving people and I'm respecting your choice, whatever you choose to do. And so this morning, I hadn't talked to her in like 2 days. Sunday I spoke to her, and then this morning I called her and I see her in her bata. It was like 10:30, and I was like, ¿Y tú, mami, cómo tú estás? ¿Dormiste bien? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, ¿fuiste al gimnasio? And I was waiting for her to say no because she had her bata and she looked like she just woke up, tenía como un pajón. And then she's like, sí, yo fui al gimnasio. I was like, yes. I was so happy. My heart was so happy. I was like, no, really? Yay. She's like, yeah, ya yo fui al gimnasio, me puse mi bata, tú sabes, porque ya voy a descansar. And I was like, yes, mom. So I'm so happy. I'm so proud that you're doing it on your own, not because I'm pushing you. This it's like an alcoholic or it's like a drug addict. Whenever they quit their vice, because of their family, they're gonna pick it back up because they're not doing it for themselves. And then, but when they actually like start changing because for themselves, because they want a different life, because they've hit rock bottom, because they want to change, then they can actually change, you know? So yeah, because they believe they can too. And so yeah, I was so happy. And yeah, so she started the gym and I'm really excited. And she's prioritizing herself and her health and all that. And that's it for today. I have to get back to work. I have like 40 minutes left on the clock. This was on my lunch break that I did my little episode. And I'm gonna record another one. This one was just like freehand, improvise. I didn't have an agenda. I just wanted to put something down, lay something down. But I'm gonna record another one probably for Christmas or around Christmas. Or when I get back home, I wanna do one in my house so you guys can see. I love that. So I have a room that we call a computer room, and that's where I usually work because it's has a door, it's closed off. People could be in the living room and nobody hears, you know, you don't hear anything. And so yeah, so I'm gonna record from there next time I go. I'm gonna see who I can record with. Well, my family is brave enough to get in front of the camera. I told my sister, but I don't think she's gonna want to do it. I mean, I don't think she's gonna do it, but we'll see. I would love to to interview her or like just record us talking, like therapist slash sister. I would love to record Julie in the future too. I can't wait to see Julie. Oh my God. I can't wait to see her. I can't wait to hug her. And oh, and also last thing, for my birthday, my love language is words of affirmation and acts of service. And I was so loved for my birthday. Like this was one of the few birthdays. Last year I said it too that I wasn't depressed and I wasn't sad. But usually on my birthday I get sad. I don't know why. And I just want the day to end. And I think the root of that is like I'm getting too much attention. I think that was the root of me being sad and wanting the day to end. Like getting too much attention and getting too much love. And maybe I didn't think I deserved it or something back then. And so last year, it was also very beautiful. People were very, like, they were giving me my flowers and loving me and giving me all that, words of affirmation. The same love that I give every day to people, they were giving it back to me for my birthday last year. And then the same thing happened this year, too, and I was able to receive it. And I was able to receive it, and I cried a lot. A lot of the things are so beautiful. But yeah, it was really nice. I was really grateful. And yeah, that's it for me. This is episode 6, I think. And I'm really proud of myself and these 39 years, the person that I've become, the mom I've become, the woman I've become, the wife I've become, the daughter, and mostly just the ligamis that I am, this version of me. I know that all my past versions, 5-year-old me, 15-year-old me, 20-year-old me, 23-year-old me with a baby, 29-year-old me with 2 babies, they're all so proud of this version of me. They're so proud of this woman that speaks her truth, that takes up space, that has boundaries, that doesn't, just stick herself in the background so nobody can see her, nobody can embarrass her, or that doesn't make herself small in environments where other people feel uncomfortable because she's taking up too much light or too much space or laughing too loudly, and I love that for me. I love that for this version of me. I love that I got all those younger girls and all those younger versions of me here, you know, that I got them to the place where I could speak up and I can say whatever the fuck I want to say, and that I don't have to dim my light for other people, and that I can have the discernment to know who I should be around because I can feel their energy and I can feel kind of like the envy, and I can feel that they're not very happy for me, right? And I'm so happy that I got here. I'm so proud of myself for investing all this energy and all this time into myself and all this, all the classes that I've taken since like 2020. Like every time there's a class on anytime my teacher, my spiritual teacher gives a class, I'm there. Every single class. And I ingest that information. And like self-love is not, I said this earlier in my Instagram, self-love is not something that is like is not taught, bro. Nobody taught us to love ourselves. Nobody taught us, how to love ourselves, how to protect ourselves from others, how to know that we're worthy, or that that we have value, and that we don't have to be around people that aren't good for us, and that we have a right to leave places that are not good for us, and that we don't have to be nice. You can be kind, but you don't have to be nice, and especially not to people who are violating your boundaries, or being rude to you, or just not worthy of you having you around. And like the thing that a lot of us get wrong is that we don't know what we bring to the table, right? We don't know our worth. We don't know the value that we have, because we're too busy, like, outsourcing our value, and outsourcing our power to other people. Hey, babe. It's like, hey, babe, do I look cute? Hey, babe, am I good enough? Hey, am I good at this? Am I good at whatever it is? Hey, mom, am I a good mother? Do you think I'm a good mother? Am I doing it the right way? And then everybody, we're just like out here asking everybody about ourselves. We're asking them, hey, am I good enough at this? And who better than you? Like, you are the expert. You are the expert, because nobody else has the same values that you have. And so for another person, they might think that you're doing things wrong, or because you're doing it differently than them. But again, your values vary. And so only you know if you're a good enough mom. Only you know if you're a good enough wife. Only you know if you're a good enough person. you know Only you know if the goals you set for yourself you reached. Only you know. And so that whole thing about knowing what you bring to the table, until you know what you bring to the table, you're gonna be just sitting around with whoever comes around, and that's ass. And when you finally realize everything that you bring to the table, your value, how worthy you are, you're gonna be more selective of who sits at your table, who's around you, whose energy you're exposing yourself to, whose negative words you're taking in, because everything is content. Everybody's fears, everybody's words, that shit stays in your aura, and that shit is programming you. And so you have to be very selective of who you have in your table, who you have sitting around you, not just influencing your kids, because those people are also influencing your kids, but who's influencing you, whose words are you listening to, who are you sharing your dreams and your goals with, that are putting fear into them, you know and just be very selective of who you have around. And then once you know what you bring to the table, then you realize, that once you leave, once you leave the table with all your shit, a lot of those people don't have much, because you brought a lot of it. You're the one doing so much. And so it makes you be more selective, and it makes you kind of like more proud too, you know. Like, I don't need none of that shit, because I got my own. And I don't need anybody to be my friend. I'm my own friend. And I don't need company that's bad company, because I'm good by myself. So all that. But anyways, that's my ego talking. Peace out. Love ya.